Best Ball Championship 2 on Drafters Fantasy, Drafters Fantasy Sports, drafters.com. Brewing some overlay with a $25K to first contest. Pretty nice. $11. $25K to first place, but there's more if you sign up with promo code SPIKEWEEK. For every entry you put into this $11 Best Ball Championship 2, you get put into our exclusive free roll, which is a $5,000 free roll. You'll be automatically entered, tracked on spikeweek.com. Top 3 get paid of the $5,000. $2,500 to first place, $1,500 to second place, $1,000 to third place. Totally free. All you have to do is sign up using promo code SPIKEWEEK, and you're entered for every $11 tournament that you put in on drafters.com. We're going to draft one today. So that'll be one. That'll be one for you. Let's get into it. What is going on? It's Friday, almost the weekend. Time to draft. We got less than 2 weeks, as of today, less than 2 weeks to get in all of our entries into these best ball streets. And drafters is one I'm trying to get more. Trying to get more entries in on drafters. So we'll see how this one fills. We're going to need quite a few to enter here. So anybody watching, we're going to need quite a few. Let me share my screen and we can go ahead and hop in and see if we can't get this baby filled. Let's join the fast draft. $10 more. If you have not signed up, like I mentioned, on drafters, I actually really do, it's the typical corporate plug, right? You sign up and use our promo code and get this deposit bonus and all that. And of course we have to do that. That's part of the business that we're in. But I actually think drafters is a format that if you're not even necessarily taking this best ball super serious, but if you are trying to get your money in good, diversify kind of, I'm using all the cliches, diversify your portfolio, experiment in some of the different formats. I think it's a huge plus of being on drafters is, the format is so different, which we've talked about now a couple of times, just how different the format is on drafters. And people don't take necessarily into account just how different the format is. I think for being totally blunt and honest, I think the competition probably falls somewhere in between the sharpness of the DraftKings rooms and the underdog rooms, in terms of the efficiency of the market. I think drafters kind of lies in the middle. The drafters are definitely not idiots. Definitely know what they're doing, but I think there's still some inefficiencies in just the ADPs in general, but also the ADPs as they relate to the format that we see here. I think people too often draft as if it's just like this is fantasy football, right? Or even if like this is just best ball. But like we know that the tournament weeks and stuff don't matter. We know it's just totally raw cumulative scoring. But what that also means is like week one matters, right? So you could be as big of and I have drafted 0 RB teams on here. I think you should have access to all sorts of builds in your portfolio. But just in general, as you're drafting, you do have to be more cognizant. Like, I actually feel fairly comfortable. I actually feel more comfortable. Sorry, trying to multitask and get this tournament filled. 10 more in the $11 tournament fast draft on Drafters Fantasy. It was almost filled earlier, which is unfortunate. Yeah, same, Evan, same. Believe it or not, I don't have the entire day to sit here in front of my computer streaming. I too hope that it fills. If we have to, last week I think we pivoted. The $5 is probably has a bunch more in it. Not only 2 of 12. So we'll see how this goes. You know, if we aren't able to fill it, we aren't able to fill it, and that's okay. We can talk about some of the drafters' strategy. Whoops. So need nine more. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Let me pop in the Discord really quick. All right, so let's talk about drafters, right? We need 9 more people. 9 of you out there, come join and draft with us. I guess I do want to talk about the free roll and the promo from the top, because I think it's important. You know, these kinds of things can be a little bit confusing. So just want to clear that up for anybody that has any questions. Obviously, if you sign up, there's also a link on. I can pull it up even. Let's just look at it. Okay. If we go to spikeweek.com and you go to drafters contest leaderboard, this has all the details of this. And like I said, I know sometimes it's a little annoying because you have to jump through a couple of different hoops, but really all that it is if you go to drafters, and when you deposit, use promo code SPIKEWEEK, that'll cover it. But you can also sign up just clicking on this button here. Sign up on drafters, and you're covered. It's all you have to do, and you're covered. Now, from there forward, every time you enter this $11 Best Ball Championship 2 tournament, every entry you put into there is automatically entered into our free roll, our $5,000 free roll. We are putting up $5,000 for Spike Week members only. And in order for us to track you, you have to sign up, using promo code Spike Week, right? Then, we're calling it like a tournament within a tournament. Every entry that you have in the $11 gets put into our tournament. So however many, right? I have no idea how many entries are going to be in here. It could be tons. It could be very few. And within all of those entries, right? My entries won't count, but let's say I was just a normal Spike Week member and I had 10 entries into the $11. My 10 entries all go into our free roll. Then I compete with all the other Spike Week members' entries, and the top 3 at the end of the same format as the $11 contest. Cumulative scoring, full season weeks 1 through 17 scoring, and the top one or first gets $2,500. We will pay you $2,500. Second place, $1,500. Third place, $1,000 in drafters. So you'll get paid out on drafters.com. It'll come directly to your drafters account. It will be tracked here on this drafters contest leaderboard on the Spike Week site. So every week, this will get updated with our leaderboard for this contest. So now we got that covered. All the fun, nonsense that we have to talk about. Let's see where we're at. 8. I'm not sure if we're gonna. It is drafters cash. See, I don't believe that you can directly withdraw it immediately for what it's worth. I do not believe that you once it gets put on I think that you have to put it. It's kind of like if DraftKings gives you a free bet or something similar to that, or DraftKings cash or whatever, rewards dollars. You can't take it out right away. You have to put it into play. Yes, you can still join the draft for today. We're actually looking for some more people to hop in. So perfect timing. We'll see if it fills. I'm honestly not sure if it's going to fill. We're trying to push some people to, we're trying to continue to grow the ecosystem of best ball. And, this is a little bit smaller site that not everybody even has access to, or not everybody, is on before, but it's good for us if there's more options like drafters. It shouldn't be 20x playthrough, Evan. It should not be 20x playthrough. It should be like basically a one. You can't automatically withdraw it. And now that you're asking this, I promise I will confirm this for you. But it should just be, it can't be immediately withdrawn, but it has to, you don't have to play through $200,000. You just got to play through that 1,000. You can challenge me to a head-to-head. We can play a head-to-head. You'll probably beat me if you win this contest. I'm not sure that my drafters teams are very good. Thank you. One time. Oh, now we need 5. 5 more. Evan's got work. Evan only has an hour, but we need to fill it so Evan can get rolling here. Me too, Evan. So last week, it was funny when we did this stream. I've been on a few different streams, and normally, like when we started the summer, when you would get on a stream, you would never ever you would either make a mistake. I make mistakes anyway, but you would make a mistake like drafting a handcuff of your own player was definitely one that happened very frequently. But just, it's sometimes, believe it or not, it is a little bit difficult to manage doing multitasking while doing the draft and streaming. So you just make mistakes. Or the people know, like, everybody knows who I like, I'm sure. So it's not that easy for me to get Trey Lance, or especially when you're setting up stacks or something, right? It's not that easy to capitalize on those things when it's happening live and everybody knows who you like and everybody can see what you're doing. And so we did the drafters draft last week, and I actually think it went pretty well. So I'm kind of knocking on wood. Like, that might be my best team on drafters, actually. So maybe we can keep that streak running. Put one more Twitter pump out here. One more Twitter pump. Yeah, 4 more. Let's see where the $5 is. Yeah, not even close. Okay, 4 more. We should be able to get this. While we're doing this, I just recorded a podcast with Davis Maddock. Every week, do a Sports Grid Spike Week crossover podcast, talking about just kind of the latest in best ball, really. We talked a lot about the quarterback situations. Quarterback situations coming into the season are starting to get defined. We now obviously know. Yeah, it's been a little tougher to get the draft. Definitely, Willis. It's been a little tougher to get the drafters draft to fill. I just think it's a platform that not everybody is on. Some people don't want to, some people don't want to branch out to. I totally get it. Some people don't want to branch out to a new site. We need 3 more, so we'll see if we can get 3 more in the next. Obviously, if we go for 15 more minutes and we don't get 3 more, we'll back it down. Yeah, exactly, Willis. Why don't you fill in? But Davis and I were talking about quarterback situations, and I think we've reached a point of draft season that's really actually fairly significant, because this weekend's preseason games, I'm not sure that we're really going to learn anything, right? There's a few guys, like there's definitely going to be some starters playing, and some things that we learn a little bit, but in general, we've learned what players' roles are for the most part, like 98%, let's say. So, it's nice to see. It'll be nice to see what Cortland Sutton looks like, right? It'll be nice to see some of these things, but we pretty much know everything. The one thing that we hadn't known, basically across the league, is kind of these quarterback battles. And so we now know Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback for the Broncos, and we now know Jameis Winston is a quarterback for the Saints. We're just waiting on these rookies, right? Lance, Fields, and Mac Jones, to see 2 more. 2 more. This is so funny that you bring that up. I'm really happy that you brought that up. I think it is kind of my take. I feel like everybody's stealing my thunder. I thought it would be a little bit more of a hot take, and maybe I am overreacting to this, but I actually don't think it was just the Jameis. If you're just saying Kamara moves to second overall strictly because of Jameis, I think that's a little bit flawed, because I think we've seen for a little bit now that Jameis was trending towards being a quarterback. I think early in the year, early in draft season, I was lower on Kamara because there was there was true uncertainty around Taysom versus Jameis. I think that has really, really, really heavily trended towards Jameis in the last couple of weeks. But then, I thought that there was some uncertainty about their offense. We didn't know. Another big factor that I don't think maybe people are thinking about, and Davis and I discussed this as well, is the Latavius thing. We were pretty confident, we were extremely confident that Latavius was going to continue to be the number 2 back there and continue to be this back that plays 30 to 40% of snaps on this offense, because that's just how it's always been. They never wanted to unleash. Nice. Perfect. We're full or we're filled up here. They never, I totally agree, Ethan. I'm gonna get to that I could not possibly agree more. I get to that exact point. Congrats, Updog, on the 101 influencer 101. That's beautiful. Okay. Latavius, the Latavius thing, actually, like, obviously I think you did need Jameis to be the quarterback if you wanted Kamara's upside to really come through, and probably even his floor. But so now we've got that out of the way. But I think the Latavius thing is, my God, Willis, my God. The only bags, heavier than Latavius bags are those of David Kitchen's Top Shot bags. So there's a lot of variables here. I'm kind of bouncing around, but I think it goes to it really is going to hammer home the point of, it shouldn't just be the fact that, like, Jameis won the job. I think that was the ante to the game. If Jameis didn't win the job, Kamara's overvalued, actually. But he was going where he's going because it's probable that Jameis wins the job. But I think it's a ton of these different factors. So, Jameis does win the job, so you get the confirmation on that. I think this Latavius thing is actually a big deal for Kamara in terms of role floor and role ceiling. If Latavius is dust, like which is possible, right? He might get cut. Latavius might just be dust. Tony Jones Jr. is not as good as Latavius when Latavius was his normal self, non-dust Latavius. right? Latavius was good enough in the passing game and good enough on the running game, like a quality back that can do everything, as we saw, which is why we were drafting him, because we saw that he can do everything when Kamara goes down. So, like, if Latavius is dust, Tony Jones Jr. just flat out can't do that. And I think it really raises the ceiling, and it raises a probability that they just make Kamara. It's like, look, we've been able to make you a part-time player, and kind of hide you and keep you healthy over the course of your career, because we had Latavius, because we had Drew Brees, and we had Michael Thomas. And so now there's no Michael Thomas. Latavius might be dust. There, Tony Jones Jr. ain't it. And so I think it just raises the floor of Kamara in all aspects, and it really, really raises the ceiling. And I think this always gets me a little lag. Oh, man, you guys are killing me. Okay, it's really funny that when you go on the clock is when I freeze up a little bit. That's really funny with drafters. I'm trying to let me shrink this down, get mostly the board on here. So anyway, back to the James thing, because I think the Kamara thing is really important, because I'm definitely what we call underweight on Kamara, relative to the market. And so I'm really trying to kind of correct that personally. Yes, full PPR. Full PPR on drafters. All right, I'm about to be... JT versus Gibson. I have so much Gibson. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ridley JT. I'm buying this. I'm buying the JT dip. Yeah, Dustin, I'm lower on Najee than most people are. I think I get why people like Najee, and I actually think he does provide a good bit more credence in this format. But I'm lower on Najee than I think the market is. So anyway, there's this culmination of factors for Kamara that I really think. Where was the point Ethan made? Yeah, such a good point. I feel like in full PPR, Cook shouldn't have been the unanalyzed consensus number 2 regardless. I think even in half PPR, he shouldn't have been the where we and maybe before kind of this culmination of things with Kamara, maybe he should have been like the total stone lock number 2. But I just think we didn't have anyone, in my opinion, personally, that could challenge CMC. If CMC stays healthy, Dalvin cannot beat CMC. Point blank, period. We didn't have anyone else that could either, though. And so Dalvin was like this next step down on the rung. All had some question marks. And it's not that Kamara doesn't have question marks now. It's that I think there are indications and real paths to him like challenging CMC. Like where next year we're like, oh man, this is CMC versus Kamara at the top, and it's a coin flip on who you're taking 101 overall. How likely is that? I don't know. But I think just with not just Jameis winning the job, Michael Thomas being out, the offensive line still being awesome, the running backs, the rest of the running backs in that room being really bad, and them just finally needing to totally put the offense on Kamara's shoulders. I think that's in the range of outcomes now. And so that's not in the range of outcomes for Dalvin Cook. Like Dalvin Cook is awesome. I'm not like saying don't take Dalvin Cook, but like he actually extremely outperformed last year. So did Kamara when you get down to the touchdowns, but he's just not going to get the same level of targets as Kamara. There's just things that Dalvin Cook can't access based on the offense that he's in. He's also a little more injury prone if we want to play that game, so I just think Kamara has a level of ceiling that Dalvin Cook can't get to. And so ultimately, and that's what you'll see my rankings. If you go to the website and you go to all my different rankings, it's not like all ceiling, but it's all factoring in that combination of risk ceiling, right? And like, I need a payoff for these guys. That's why that's why like AJ Green is so low for me. That's why Brandon Cooks is so low for me. That's why these dead zone running backs are so low for me, below like the Javantes and stuff of the world, because I don't see them having a season in which they really pay me off like big time. And so that's like the Kamara thing. It's like, I don't really see a season in which Dalvin is just like just blowing away the field. And I think Kamara has that in his range. So let's see. Definitely a little bit more wide receiver heavy than the average draft here. A little bit more wide receiver heavy. I like this when I'm going to use this view now when I'm about to come on the clock. We're figuring this out, guys. So, okay, Swift goes. I'm going to put Amari on. Got the tier break. Yep, we're going to take Amari. See what happens here at the turn. I got definitely got a couple guys I like here. One thing we talked about yesterday with if you watched the draft stream with the Siege, which was actually really, really good, even if you thought it was going to be like me, super hot takey. So I'm reaching on Kyle Pitts a little bit there because I know he's not going to get back to me at 58. And this is what I was going to lead into with Siege. I think he made some really good points about elite tight end possibly being even more important and valuable than it ever was before, which is funny because now we have a first-round tight end and 2 second-round tight ends, give or take, and then Pitts is up there and Hawkinson and Andrews. And the issue is the other thing. It's kind of this combination of some points that CJ made. And then if you listen to Stealing Bananas with Ben, Gretchen, Sean Siegel, Gretch has made the point multiple times that, he thought multiple years ago, we were clearly on a trajectory in the NFL of really pass heavy, teams really moving a lot more pass heavy, which in turn thought that would mean, okay, tight end's about to get deeper because more teams are going to be throwing, meaning more of these ancillary guys can really pop and be fantasy relevant. And what we saw was actually the opposite. Teams did start to throw more, but they're throwing to their wide receivers and their running backs. And a lot of teams are, not necessarily getting rid of the tight end position, but kind of. It's more of a niche position, right? If you don't have one of the elite talents, it doesn't make sense to put a lesser player out there just because you think you have this role of tight end, right? Or use that guy to block as opposed to using him, over a wide receiver or a running back to catch passes. Why would you want a worse player in those positions? So anyway, what that has led to is when you have Travis Kelce, who is this weapon, when you have George Kittle, Darren Waller, what I think Kyle Pitts could be, like the advantage in fantasy is so great because there's not only are there just not any guys like that, there's not even other guys that you can like latch onto to help get you by, basically. Like the premise of like zero running back type stuff is because yes, I can't manufacture Alvin Kamara's upside later, but I'm probably going to be able to eventually, whether it's in managed leagues, I'll be able to find somebody, or I can, get by with the pass catchers and they can do kind of just enough to get me there. Like that doesn't exist at tight end. You know what I mean? Like maybe to a lesser extent, depending upon what you think about some of these guys. But like we like to wish cast on Cole Kmet or Irv Smith or pick your favorite guy, right? I like the Patriots guys, but like at the end of the day, true probability, like they're probably not going to really do anything, and they're probably going to get destroyed by the elite tight ends. Like that's just what happens, and that's where the league I think is also kind of trending too. Like Kyle Pitts and Travis Kelce is this too. Darren Waller is kind of this. They're just wide receivers that we get to play at tight end because they happen to go in line a little bit. They're just wide receivers, but that's not like Hunter Henry is not just a wide receiver, So let's see. Yeah. Ooh, definitely a wide. Visca, come on. Come on. You're killing me. Let me put Debo on the board here. Absolutely killing me. Yeah, I'm going Debo. Killing me. Definitely a ship chaser room. Definitely a ship chaser room. I wouldn't have minded Josh Allen. Wouldn't have minded Josh Allen there. Oh, you guys are the worst. I like a couple. Oh, there goes Juju, so never mind that. I was going to say I still like a couple of wide receivers, and I fear that. Okay. And so Andrews goes, here's a guy that I haven't been on very much, but I'm going to. What is happening? Is he gone? Why is it doing that? That's. Oh, there we go. Oh, I guess maybe I should wait for my pick, huh? Ha! That's funny. I'm definitely, quote unquote, underweight Devonta Smith, but Lord Reeves, Rich Rebar at Lord Reeves on Twitter. I'm sure you guys all follow him. Just brilliant, absolutely incredible analysis. He's gotten me a little more into Devonta Smith, and I think Devonta Smith makes sense from an upside bet scenario. Like, I shouldn't go into the season like completely super underexposed to Devonta Smith, even though I thought he was really overpriced to begin with. Yeah, it's just a bet on the offense. It's a great question, Dustin. It's just a bet on the offense and the talent. And I like to. So first of all, doubling back on the San Francisco offense, I think that their offense has passed to being the highest scoring offense in the league. I think even if Jimmy is in there, I think these wide receivers can like provide you a floor, especially Debo can provide you a floor that like is still helping you in fantasy. Trey Lance, the idea, the premise of Trey Lance is that he unlocks this offense and takes this offense to a next level from a scoring perspective. And so they're definitely going to be, a little bit more run heavy, but they're also going to be incredibly efficient. Debo especially is like the master of the tip pass, right? The little manufactured touches is what Debo does, but he's also very good, just a very good football player, from like a yards per route run perspective. He's like elite. He's absolutely elite, like legendary elite. And so, Kittle is a star, obviously, and Ayuk is like one of the premium breakout candidates ever. So you just have all this talent everywhere that I want to be on that talent and this offense. And so, if I'm totally projecting median outcomes and, dividing up all the touches between all of those guys, yeah, they probably don't look perfect at ADP, but that assumes no chaos of a season. That assumes no breakouts. That what if Debo takes more of the target share just through Debo's really good, or maybe Ayuk gets hurt, or maybe Kittle gets hurt again. Maybe the offense is just so good and it's so concentrated between these three guys, like Carolina was last year. They all pay off. Carolina had 4 positions hit in fantasy last year, and that was with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. So I just want to be on those offenses that are. I want to bet on the offense, and so I don't want to avoid their players. This has actually happened to me with like the Chargers. I'm like super bullish on the Chargers offense. I'm really excited for the Chargers offense with Herbert and Keenan, Mike Williams.
I like their third receiver guys, and obviously Eckler in the backfield, right? Even Parham, maybe Cook if you like Cook. I'm really bullish on them with their new coaching staff and the new offensive line, but I wasn't taking enough of them. And it's like, if we all see what this offense could become, why, like, you need to take some of those guys, even if you're not like, oh, I don't love Mike Williams versus Will Fuller or something like that. We still need to mix some of those guys in. And the 49ers are my favorite personal team for like the upside that they provide. They also have one of the easiest schedules we've ever seen. Not just in the playoffs, but throughout the entire course of the year. So I just want to be buying all those different factors. Let's see what we got left here. We still got ETN in the player pool. Hopefully, I'm gonna start firing up a queue here to make sure I don't slide into ETN on accident. Let's go to the board view. 7th round, Josh Jacobs. Definitely a ship chasing spike week draft if Josh Jacobs is going in the 7th round. Yeah, I like that. I also think Josh Jacobs has a little more viability in this format. Take me some Waddle, add some guys to the queue because this is just a little bit slower than the average. Okay. Got all my wide receivers in the queue, so just in case something bad happens, I'm at least getting a wide receiver. That's what I actually like to do. People do the quarterback thing in their queue all the time, and I like to do the just put the wide receiver. Oh Jesus! Just put wide receivers just in case something happens. Hard minute is. One thing I really like about this drafters format is with the cumulative thing, it does still provide potential advantages I think I talked about it a little bit in the piece on the site, like my general drafters strategy. But I think it opens up multiple different strategies, but I think the field is very, very focused on making sure they have like that RB2 spot locked up. And so I think you can do multiple different ways. What I don't see people doing as much is hyper fragile. First of all, I don't think people are willing, because it's cumulative scoring and because it's 20 rounds, I don't think people are willing to embrace variance, embrace the fragility at the running back position by only taking like say 4, even when they're taking guys early. So I think that's an edge. I've tried some of those teams and I really like them. Actually, I liked them more when I thought Darrell Henderson was going to be a better pick, but alas, I think that that's a really good structure that we can lean on drafters, because I don't think many people are willing to embrace it. Even though, especially if we've come from underdog, we are probably a little bit more willing to embrace it. On the other side is this like hero RB, anchor RB approach, because you can still find if you draft the right types of players and you draft, a structurally sound team, basically punting RB2, not entirely punting, but allow yourself you can even take detours if you want, right? I took a detour for Kyle Pitts. If you want to take a detour for an elite quarterback, you can do that if you push running back 2 and use the wide receiver depth to win the flex and then make it work, right? Whether you like some of the pass catchers, James White, Gio Bernard, Nyheim Hines, JD McKissick, whatever, and mix and match. Maybe you do get AJ Dillon, or maybe you get I don't know, I like Damian Williams or Tony Pollard or whatever, and you mix and match all these different things together to string together that RB2 position. Like, people are definitely not willing to do that on drafters. So those are a couple of the big preach, Ethan. Preach. But I think those are a couple other things that I've started to like really, particularly on drafters. Two picks away. Trying to. Definitely a wide receiver room. There goes Goddard. Goddard is really interesting. Yeah, there goes Mostert. So at least I'm not tempted. I am, however. Sorry, Ruggs. I'm taking Terrace Marshall. I'm taking Terrace Marshall. There goes Ruggs. Don't have a quarterback yet, but I think quarterback's sitting okay. And we got the Kyle Pitts anchor tight end. So I'm feeling all right. Even you guys tried to push me out of wide receiver. All you loser wide receiver drafters trying to punish us. And you can't do it. So I'm taking AJ Dillon. I'm getting my RB2. Feel pretty good. Kyle Pitts, Jonathan Taylor, AJ Dillon, 7 good wide receivers. I think there's a tier break after Terrace, kind of. Personally, maybe not. Maybe not, depending on what you feel about the Bills and I guess like Callaway and some of these guys. But I think Terrace is a. It's not just me, brother. People do the people in this room are definitely maybe even more wide receiver heavy than I am, which is always funny to see. Yeah, man. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I like it's crazy. I really like I like this, Dustin. One thing I will say, I'm way over on Dylan also. He's one of my favorite picks in the entire draft. I think he's one of my core picks on drafters, especially too. I think he's just such an awesome drafters pick where he could very clearly be the league winner, but he also is providing you, points all throughout the year. Like just such a slam dunk pick in the 10th round. He doesn't go in the 10th on any other sites. But I agree. I really like anchor running back here on drafters. But to the point about the other sites is I do really I think that there's still some edges like we talked about kind of at the top with drafters specifically in terms of the, different, it's just a really, really unique format. And I definitely don't have all the answers. So what I think might be an edge could actually be extremely wrong. Right. But I think from the drafts that I've done, people are not willing. People draft a little bit more say last year where I have to draft this really balanced roster. They think that this cumulative format means I have to draft this really balanced roster. I got to get my starting lineup filled, that kind of thing. And I think just using the best ball strategy that we've employed all throughout this, not anything crazy, anything groundbreaking, but taking some of the, fragile approaches to this particular format while still being smart about understanding that the format is a little bit different, I think is really beneficial on this site. And I think it's really good to have exposure to the different format too. I'm pretty bullish on drafters and what they got going on. What's your username, Evan? Oh, well, that would be easy. Evan McDonald. I like the people that use their name. You assholes don't have your name as your Kamara. Kamara, AJ Brown, George Kittle, Claypool, Judy, Javante, Dak. I probably wouldn't have taken Edmonds. Elijah, Gabe, Trey Lance. What's wrong with this team? The Edmonds detour, probably. I think you probably regret the Edmonds detour because you already had your 2 running backs. and you know the room with the wide receivers. So like if what running backs or wide receivers were, so there was still this whole tier, however you break out this tier, right, of from everywhere from Mecole down to like Ruggs or whatever. There's still this tier of really upside wide receivers that you probably could flip Edmonds into, and then maybe flip Gabe or something into a different running back. But I mean, I'm nitpicking, very much nitpicking. All right, I better add somebody before I get auto-picked ETN. Don't have any Bengals. I kind of like Moss here. What round is this? Lord, this scroll is killing me. I'm going to take Zach Moss, actually. Yeah, exactly. As Pat's new thing, you can't stop and take a cup of coffee with Josh Jacobs. You got to keep skiing or the avalanche is going to hit you. And it did hit you, Evan, eventually. That's really funny. I feel good. I'm feeling happy about this. I am going to make a pick that people are going to tell me I'm an idiot for here in a second, I think. Because everybody's going to tell me when you take 2 pass catchers from that team, you better take that. You better take that quarterback. And I'm taking Justin Fields over Matt Ryan. Because I'd like I think Fields has paths to just a total smash season, right? I mean, he's going to have to run for his life. I put him just behind. I think he's right behind Lance for me. I have Lance, Fields, Lawrence straight in a row, I think, in my quarterback tiered rankings. In the same tier, really close. You wish I took ETN. And so the other thing about this format is I do want stacks and stuff, but it's a little less like absolute try to jam stacks. Like, first of all, you can backdoor stack anybody, but especially if you're getting the rushing quarterbacks, it's a little less like I have to force like, oh, I don't have A-Rob, or I don't have Mooney, I can't take Fields. I think in my opinion, in this format, it is a little less, oh, I got to jam stacks. I still want stacks, to be clear. Like, I want to be betting because there's huge benefits in betting on an offense, having that offense as a whole exceed expectations, and then getting all their spike games together, right? Because those points really rack up a lot more. However, at the quarterback position, especially, I think after Fields, there's a huge tier break in terms of upside. And it's possible he might even come back to me here and then I might take him. But, the non-runners, I just don't even really want to draft the non-runners at quarterback very much. Yeah. Yes, please. Please get Fields in, please. And this, same, Chris. I do it all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually. Like, if you can get Damian too, like, not that I actually kind of hate stacking my quarterback with my running back, but I think Damian is is actually one of the few that's like a correlated bet to your quarterback, right? Montgomery goes down. I don't think that they're going to just like grind Damian between the tackles, which kind of like, that means like all their ceilings get raised together. We can talk about this. In a minute. What do we got, Paul? You got the old team? Let me guess. I'm going to guess. Why is this? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, bored. Tyreek, okay. Mixon, A-Rob, Chase. I'm on the board, or I'm on the clock. Let me not screw this up here. Ooh, running back's pretty bad. Let's put Madison on there, though. Ooh. Change my mind. Diami time. I know you guys. If I want Diami, I better take him because he's gonna go. He's definitely gonna go. Running back is pretty gross. Pretty gross. I know you guys are gonna snipe me later, but I'm just getting a queue set up. Everett goes. I am going to take me some Madison. All right. Now let me see if we can take a look at this team. Drake, Crowder, Brian Edwards, okay. Sanders, Higbee, Sermon. Oh, you mixed in some young guys. Fuller, Antonio Brown, Mahomes, okay. Chase. So you tried to offset having all of the oldest players in the league, like AB and Manny Sanders and whatnot, with some rookies. I don't think that's quite how it works, but that's pretty funny. Me too. I love Diami Brown. Love Diami. I mean, Diami has like a wide receiver 8 in a wide receiver heavy room. I'm totally in on that. Cleveland Cavaliers get Lauri Markkanen for any NBA fans out there. I like Tojo. I like Tojo now. Those kinds of guys. So that's what we're gonna get. I do like. I've got the guys with. I got the guys with. A little bit of standalone value, not Madison, right? But Moss and Dillon. And so I do still like in this format, especially like I took Madison because he doesn't typically go there. He goes ahead of like the James White and Geos and stuff like that. And so like, I'm open to those James White, Geo type guys for sure, even in this build. But now like moving forward, it's probably going to be these kinds of guys, right? Like, I guess Tony Jones does have a little bit of standalone value, but like it's just like these late round flyer type guys. Right? I saw Sony went in round 13. Once you get past Sony and Madison, it's mostly just like late round flyer guys. And so I'll just build in a bunch of those guys to try to scrape together RB2, and hopefully, you hit on Dillon, or you hit on Moss, or you hit on Madison, or now hit on Tony Jones, hit on Darrington Evans, hit on Justin Jackson, hit on, right? Pick your guy. There's going to be a ton of them, and just piece those guys together and hope that, you kind of just, the chaos works in your way at RB2. Yeah, that's fair. Just in terms of thinking of, a way to think about. I mean, Jefferson definitely doesn't go in the first round, but I get your point. I think the point is fine. Oh, I will take Damian. I will take Damian. You guys took Komet from me, but that's okay. Took Komet from me, but I can handle it. So I got some. Dang, man. This part is a little tough, I will say. Can't believe I'm doing this, but freaking Karain has talked me into this Ertz nonsense. But I do think he makes sense. I think it makes sense with Pitts too. Thoughts on your squad? You are picking out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spot. You're also on the clock. 0 RB, Diggs, Jefferson, Cup, DJ Moore. Certainly love those first 4 picks. Detour for Hawkinson. I like it. Sutton. I'm into taking some shots on Sutton. Jacobs as your hero, which is funny that I know that you didn't like it, but I think that's okay. And now we start smashing some, you keep hammering the wide receivers right through a borderline tier break at Callaway. I love this. This is great. This is real nice. You took 2 detours at probably pretty good times to scoop value. To scoop some value. I don't know if Hawkinson was value, but you get the point. You took the detour and then you scooped a Josh Jacobs value, but you got right back on track and destroyed the wide receivers because you've committed to this 0 RB build. So you need to destroy those wide receivers. You take Tannehill, which I think is another, you stopped and took a detour for value. And now let's hammer good 0 RB targets. Jamal Williams. I like Jamal Williams. Gus is a little tougher in PPR, but at least, he can get you by. He can help you in this structure. And then you get Geo. Ferkser, you have Hawk with Ferkser, and Ferkser's a stack with Tannehill. Baker scoop, and Baker's going 40 picks past 40 picks past ADP or whatever. It's pretty good. Yeah, Con. Jeez. That's a good team. Jay Weck, good team. I like it. We'll see how you finish it. Evan takes Darrington. I like Gainwell too. I like Gainwell in this format too because if he does become like Nyheim Hines, there's a lot of value in that. It's a little tougher unlike underdog to see a path to real upside for Gainwell. But I think in this, on DraftKings too, but here where like if he has that Nyheim Hines roll right out of the gate, the spikes are going to help you, but also just the overall point accumulation is a little bit better. Yeah, Baker. Yeah, I mean, Baker at pick, what is that, 186? Pretty nice. Pretty nice. I got to decide how many more running backs I'm taking. Probably one. At least nobody timed out and took ETN. Right? Jeez Louise. I mean, I really like... You guys are killing me. Oh, wide receiver is bad. There's Tony Jones. Eight seconds. I can't believe I took Fitz over my guy Darnold. Got my unstacked quarterbacks now, but oh no, I got Diami. Yeah, I got Diami. See, it worked out. I wasn't even paying attention. That's all right. Now I'm about to decide on one of the Jets running backs, and I don't know what the right answer is between Tevin and Ty Johnson. So I kind of want to get one of these guys for this structure to give me the combination of standalone, another combination of standalone and contingent. And I know, ADP would dictate Tevin Coleman. So I just really struggle seeing. But maybe Tevin can give me something a little more right out of the gate, which I might need. So we'll take Tevin. Play the ADP game. And you want to talk about Who said you had the oldest team? Paul, you said you had the oldest team? I just tried to catch up. Fitzpatrick, Tevin Coleman, Zach Ertz, Damian Williams. Damian's 30, early 30s. Tevin's probably what, the same? Fitzmagic is like 40 and Ertz is a billion. I think I might have caught you. This is not too bad. I kind of wish. I don't know what I should have done. Yeah, I agree with this. That's why I actually don't have very much Tevin across like all my drafts across all the sites. I do have a lot of Ty Johnson actually. I'm not going to say a lot, but he's been one of my higher exposure late round guys for sure. So I think this is correct. And so I was honestly just kind of balancing it out. I think Tevin has a little bit more secure, like week 1 role and a way lower probability to be relevant later in the season. But in theory, when I have Jonathan Taylor and AJ Dillon and Zach Moss and Damian Williams, Alexander Madison, in theory, I might need Tevin. If Tevin is a little higher floor play earlier in the year, I might need Tevin to get me to the weeks where one of those guys is a smash. Maybe that's overthinking it, but I think that combined with the fact that Tevin fell 30 picks past ADP and I don't have very much of him and I have a lot of Ty Johnson, was kind of how I was thinking about it. So I'm probably done at running back now, done at quarterback, done at tight end. So now it's time to take some. I'm not even pulling up the tab because you guys are gonna steal from me. I really need to look up. Okay, is Marquise Goodwin dead? Is he going to win the third wide receiver job, or is Daz going to win it? Yeah, okay, I'm taking Goodwin. There's the Bears bet. There's the Bears bet. Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking Damiere Byrd. He might win the job, but Damiere Byrd is like Chris Hogan. He's just running wind sprints out there all day, which Marquise Goodwin might too, but at least I know Marquise Goodwin has flashed some potential to earn targets a little bit here and there. I mean, remember the 49ers days with Goodwin? There were some good days in there, and obviously he's an Olympic sprinter, so that doesn't hurt. So I at least see some upside, even if he's probably a wasted pick, but he makes sense for me on this team, I think. I've started to get a little higher on Cephas. Good God, guys. None of these guys are even going to make the frickin' team. I'm taking Cephas. There it is. Why does it do that? The draft's not over, right? Yeah. What are we doing here? I do like the little screenshot view, though. Get this out of here so we can see the rest of the draft. We are a little over an hour, so those days were a long time ago. I agree, but whose days of being relevant were a never time ago? Damiere Byrd. Also, Marquise Goodwin is still sprinting, still fast. Just run straight, let Justin Fields run around and hit you. But I agree, like probably a wasted pick, but like I need to make a bear who would you rather draft? Jake Kumaro? You know what I mean? I'm just making a Bears bet. All these wide receivers are absolutely straight garbage at this point, so I'm just making the correlated bet. Yo, I can't believe it keeps pulling this up here. There it is. There it is. This was a lot of fun. Glad we were able to get it filled. Thank you guys for joining. That was a lot of fun. We're going to continue to do this leading up to the season. I might pull it on the very last week. I might pull it to the Thursday. Obviously, can't do the Friday draft stream because the contests are going to be over, or contests are going to be locked since Thursday Night Football is the first game of the year. This was a ton of fun. I'll also be putting out a couple of drafter specific articles over the course of the next week. And I'll obviously be drafting plenty more drafters teams. So if you ever want to hop in, just ping me in the Discord and I'll hop in a draft with you. If you are hanging out later this evening, the perfect way to start your Friday is a big dog draft with myself and Evan Silva from Establish the Run. The big dog himself is joining me to do a big dog draft tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central, live here on the Spike Week YouTube channel. So I will hopefully catch you guys a little bit later. For myself, for the drafters team, and for all of you guys, I will talk to you in 5 hours.